your interest in how to get a winning team. My name is Daniel Martin and I'm the founder of Layered Insights. I'm going to take you through the high level of what we do and how we differentiate and how we can get better results for our clients. You'll have this PDF in the email that's been forwarded to you. So here's some testimonials. There's a YouTube video there of a testimonial if you'd like to see that. So the big picture of what we do, I'll just explain the assessments that are out there for filtering candidates. All right, so 95% of the assessments used out there by consultants as well really focus on the tip of the iceberg of people. And this is the behavioural styles, the communications and the emotions. Now you would have heard of Myers-Briggs, the quadrants, enneagrams, and those ones where you're a lion or you're a flamingo or you're a beaver. These are all behavioural based tests. Now they're okay, like they've evolved over time and some are good, some are not so good. So that's why we have validity and reliability here. So the higher the validity and the reliability, the more you can trust the assessment. So when we look at behaviour, it's okay, but we don't know what's underneath the surface. We've got these assumptions, attitudes, beliefs, and values. Values are really those things that are deeply important to individuals, and that's what motivates us. And so that's what gets us out of bed in the mornings to do what we want to do. All right, and then the rock bottom of the ocean is the neuroaxiology. Now this is a fairly new science, and it's objective rather than subjective, which is these behavioural based ones here and the values ones. And so without going into a deeper detail or explanation of this, essentially it's the subconscious thinking patterns of individuals. And so the assessment itself is very short, but there's over 50 trillion different ways that can be answered. So it really does a great job of representing the individuals and their subconscious thinking patterns, and it cannot be cheated. And so we use this very accurately to filter candidates, and we work with recruitment companies who will not interview anyone unless they do the advanced insights first. And it's that good and accurate. And so it saved a lot of time for these recruitment companies, and one of them won an award last year at SEEK for Best Recruitment Company in Australia. So it's a very comprehensive assessment. It does behaviour, values, and the thinking patterns. Now, when I say thinking patterns, what does that mean? Well, essentially we've got three voices in our head, and it all comes up from the subconscious. So we've got the doctor voice, which is empathy. We've got the practical thinking. So think about the captain of a ship. And we've got the systems judgment, which is like the navigator. And the navigator has to be good at interpreting different systems and how they affect each other. So for example, they've got to know navigation by the stars, they've got to know navigation by daytime, they've got to be able to understand the currents and the winds and all those sorts of things. So different systems. All right, so a lot of companies nowadays, it's very difficult to let go of staff. Right, so what we do is, there's two options when you come across someone who's got low empathy, because essentially they are unwittingly toxic people in organisations. And so we either, my approach is that, we try and keep them, and there's different ways that we can create a role for them within the organisation. And of course, when we're filtering candidates, we prefer not to have individuals with very low empathy, because they just don't play well with others. And so that's black and white, but there's a lot of nuance in there which I won't go into now. On the right hand side, these are the 77 strengths and weaknesses of an individual, and these are objective. And so there's a lot of different skills here that we can draw upon to get a very good understanding of an individual. Okay, so you can have a read through these. We can drill down in individuals for leadership, emotional intelligence, customer service, management, sales, finance, IT, general employment, and elite athletic performance. So when I say drill down, we can get a whole broad, detailed information pertaining to these roles. And so this is for the individuals. So we want to be able to know what strengths and weaknesses they have, what blind spots they have, the motivations of them, and the how they communicate, how they deal with their emotions, and how the emotions can affect their decision making. And so if we get alignment between those three, then we get individual excellence. This one is just some credibility, I suppose, of who's using this. Particularly in the US, it's been used for about 20 years now, and recently it's come into Australia as a third person in Australia to be accredited with this. In terms of the how does it work to get a winning team, it's always a very good place to start is defining the role that you're hiring for. Then you have the recruitment process, so whoever does the recruiting, whether it's in-house or out-house, you've got that process. And then you assess the top candidates, and then we link that to the benchmarks that are required, and then we look out for red flags, green flags, and orange flags. And then the interviewing process starts, and then you can have a client introduction, and then a selection if they get that far. All right, so we plug into, we can help you define those benchmarks, part 3, and also can sit in on the interviews as well, but we can plug and play, that's fine. All right, so I'm sure that you're aware of the costs of a bad hire. It's interesting that it's a known thing out there in the corporate world. However, time and time again, I think because business owners or leaders, they just don't have time for it, but it ends up coming back and biting them in the butt. Here's some case studies here, and just some information there on the team. And if you've got any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. Happy to talk more and help you with your needs. Thank you very much.